intergovernmental summit visit. The intergovernmental summit meetings have been taking place in a very comprehensive fashion, and it represents the highest level platform. Expanding the scope of cooperation was what we addressed. As two Mediterranean countries, when it comes to regional and international matters, we exchanged opinions. As you witnessed a short while ago, we have signed 9 agreements which will be further reinforcing our cooperation in institutional terms, and our economic, our trade relations are growing every day. Despite the pandemic, our trade volume, with an increase of 34%, broke records and came to the level of $23 billion. And another aspect of our bilateral trade is that it is well balanced. And the current figures indicate that we will be going over the figure of 25 billion by the end of the year. Turkey, Italy, Economy, Trade Commission meetings, third version, and also the relevant meetings will be carried out within this year, as were in terms. And we will continue encouraging our companies for mutual investments. Distinguished members of press, with Italy, the military defense relations we have created and our defense industry cooperation have a special importance. Our relations in these areas hopefully will be further deepened, and we are in terms that this is to the benefit of our countries, both. In our agenda, fight against terrorism is another item for cooperation. And we shared our expectations from Italy with my dear friend during our bilateral talk. For management of migration and illegal migration, we also exchanged opinions with Mr. Prime Minister. Negotiations and joint projects will hopefully further reinforce our cooperation as we wish. To further strengthen the close relations in between our peoples, steps were also what we talked about for education and culture. And as a matter of fact, one of the most important elements of that was the initiative to establish Turkish-Italian University. With Mr. Prime Minister, we also addressed Turkey and the EU relations. I would like to state that I thanked to him for Italy's support for further improvement of our relations with the Union. The developments unfolding in the region show one more time concretely how important Turkey's place is. Indeed, what's essential is to further strengthen the accession perspective for Turkey. The accession of Turkey to the EU is what Italy is aware of, and I believe that this support will grow stronger and stronger. Support given by Italy. And we also, in great detail, addressed the Ukrainian crisis within the scope of our summit. Return to the negotiation process in between Russia and Ukraine, and also the export of Ukrainian grain from over the Black Sea, were of the items we exchanged opinions about. On the occasion of this summit with Mr. Prime Minister, we also addressed many regional matters, primarily Libya. In the field of energy, Italy is an important partner to us, and during our talks we also talked about the Sakarya gas field underwater pipe building, and also energy security related joint potential projects. With these thoughts in mind, as I conclude, I hope that our intergovernmental summit meeting will be auspicious, and I would like to thank my dear friend, Mr. Draghi, and his delegation for their visit, and I would like to leave the floor kindly to him now. Thank you.
Buonasera, buonasera a tutti. Voglio prima di tutto ringraziare il Presidente Erdoğan e il governo turco.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank to the President, Mr. Erdoğan, and also the Turkish government. The third intergovernmental summit took place. I would like to thank to them for this great organization and their warm hospitality. The aim today is to further improve relations in between both of our countries. We have great tests ahead of us. We can start with the Ukrainian war, and we would like to work together here, and would like to show that Italy and Turkey supports Kiev and are looking for a solution that is based on talks, negotiation. We are for peace, a peace that Ukraine and Mr. Zelensky can accept. And for all the mediation work Turkey has done, we would like to express our appreciation. In particular, their efforts for the lifting of the blockage as regards exports of grains. This should be the same for the export and trading of fertilizers, because these limitations, restrictions can lead to serious problems across the world, if otherwise. Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General, talked about the actions Turkey has played, and Turkey has a pivotal role here. And I hope that Russia will also give way to that and also pave the way for peace talks. When it comes to trade relations in between our countries, I can say that these are the relations that set the trajectory, the course of all over the Mediterranean. Many communities represented the trade activities here in the Middle East, in North Africa. These communities started the trade activities started by Italy. In 2021, we registered an increase in our trade volume, and also we see a significant increase in the first half of the 2022. We talk about SMEs, sustainability, and bringing a momentum for all those, of course, is our common target. Another movement, of course, will be related with JETCO. As regards human rights, I made suggestions to Mr. Erdoğan for Istanbul Convention. When we talk about the Mediterranean, we talk about an ecosystem of thousands of years, but an ecosystem that is fragile. That's why individuals and the environment overall are what we have to pay the due respect. This goes the same for refugees and biodiversity, environment, and everything. And I would like to thank to the Republic of Turkey for their great support and for conveying their condolences for what we went through in the face of the natural disaster. Thank you very much. Now we will be leaving the floor to all who have questions. We will have two questions. First two questions will be received from the Italian media. Yes, the floor is yours.
İyi akşamlar.
Good evening. I come from Rai. My name is Seiji Uno. Mr. Draghi, Italy, as regards Italy's activities, you referred to some joint work as regards migration, the Mediterranean, Ukrainian crisis, and many other issues. What are the thoughts of Mr. President Erdoğan in this regard? I would like to comment on that. We talked about stability and peace. We talked about what should be done to ensure peace prevails. Of course, the perspectives of both of our countries are rather similar, and this will be the same in the future. That's why we have decided to continue with our work. Well, there's not much left for me to say. Mr. Draghi said all, I would say. So maybe the only thing I could say is grazie. Yes, we will be now getting the second question from the Italian media. Silvia Gasparetto is my name. I'm from ANSA. Both of you mentioned the grain problem, and also the export issue was addressed by the Turkish side. But what is the shortcoming for the first step to be taken? Does Mr. Erdoğan need to talk to Mr. Putin about that? At the press meeting, the Secretary General of the UN, I mentioned his words, and he talked about a plan which was very encouraging for quick action. However, many corridors need to be opened. Secure corridors have to be opened, and we need a group study, and Turkey plays a central role here under the umbrella of the UN. And this group will ensure that the ships can navigate safely and securely without a risk of attack by the Russians. And of course, there should be no weapons on board. Ukraine, Russia, and Turkey, the three sides are ready for that, and now that Italy, Turkey, and Ukraine are ready for that, and they're expecting the participation of Kremlin for this. Thank you for your question. In particular, I would like to say that the Black Sea corridor is of great importance here. Mr. Putin and Mr. Zelensky, both leaders, and their perspectives, of course, will be important. We continue with our talks because the grains, be it barley or wheat or sunflower oil, what matters is to deliver these products to their destinations across the world. We don't have problems in our country, but in many parts of the world there is. In Africa, in particular, is a significant problem. So to both leaders, we expressed that we are ready to mediate, and also under the roof of the UN, by way of talking to Mr. Guterres. We are willing to talk, we said, and maybe in the next weeks to come, maybe 10 to 15 days, we will have a busier agenda of talks, hopefully, and we'll try to finalize the process. This is very important. From a general perspective, I can say this is highly important to ensure peace. In a way, this will be the first step that might possibly bear positive outcomes. Millions of people in the world, for millions of people, this is important. It is strategically important. And now we will be leaving the floor to the Turkish side. From A News, Ece Altun is my name. Mr. President, I have a question for you. Italy, France, and Turkey. For the Saudi air defense systems, you said that you would take positive steps. Was that a matter you discussed during your talks today? Do you expect a tangible step in this regard? Yes, Saudi is important for three countries, Italy, France, and Turkey. This is of great importance for us. And most recently, at the NATO summit, we addressed this matter with Mr. Macron in great detail. And he said that he would talk about this with Mr. Draghi. And I said to him, Mr. Draghi was set to visit Turkey, and I would also talk to him. And now, during our talks today with Mr. Draghi, we addressed that matter. Our defense ministers also talked about that. So we are willing to sign agreements about these systems, because this is also is great importance for our defense industry. We are in full terms with Mr. Prime Minister here, and also we are in terms with Mr. Macron. So I hope that we will be putting our signatures on papers and continue on this path. From TRT News, my name is Ahmet Yilmaz. You said that you also talked about irregular migration during your talks recently. We see a pushback and pressure policy by Greece against migrants, and that's why they now have started steering towards Italy. Can a joint mechanism in between Turkey and Italy be established for that? Was that a matter that you raised during your talks? In terms of pushing migrants back, unfortunately, beyond Turkey and Europe, Greece now has started posing threats for Italy. And those people, migrants, they now try to take asylum steering towards Italy. And in all such actions, we try all we can, show all the efforts we can, and collect them, if you will, from the seas and save them. But the same matter, the same problem is what Italy is faced with. And I would also like to hear Mr. Draghi's thoughts about this in front of you all. Mr. Prime Minister, the floor is yours. Management of migration should be based on humanitarian terms, on the basis of equity. We see all these individuals in our waters, and we're very open in terms of that, but there is something that should be well understood. An unlimited openness is not possible, and after a certain degree, of course, a country will fall short to carry. And Mr. President also expressed that, and with Greece, when we come together, we will express that clearly. I don't know how to put it, but we have tried our best to be the country that goes with the least level of discrimination, and we kept our borders open. Thank you all very much.
Okay, you've been watching Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan and Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi holding a press conference after the two held an intergovernmental summit after a gap of 10 years. Several issues that they have been discussing today in Ankara. Following the story closely for us is our correspondent Yasin Ek, and he joins us now.